Let's talk about time management. Oh, hey, sorry, just on my phone, being distracted. We'll get into distractions maybe another time, although I might talk about it just briefly today. But I've been asking you guys lately what questions you want more information on. What do you want to learn that I know that I can share with you? You know, when we started the Fit Club Network way back in 2009, it was all about fitness and nutrition and how to lead a healthy lifestyle. And that led us down one path, and that's been great, and it's been fun, and it's enriched not just our lives, but a lot of lives. But there's a lot of other stuff that we know about. And along the way, we've learned a lot. And so this new project that we're working on is really more about sharing our knowledge and helping people get better and live better, more successful lives. And as a part of that, I've been asking you guys, what do you want to know? You know, what is it that I can help you learn about? And the overarching one that I'm getting now is time management. People want to know about time management. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting together this little series that is going to be provided to everybody for free, which is going to be kind of a productivity workshop, really. I'm going to give you a lot of different tools you can use, and we're going to cover a lot of the how to do things. But here's the question that I got that prompted today's video, which is from David Simpson. And he asked, hey Dave, how do you manage your time while you're working on your goals, etc.? I work 10-hour shifts, and I'm having a difficult time managing my time. Very understandable, right? Very understandable. So what I want to do is take a step back, okay? So I think the answer people will always want is how. How do you do this? How do you do that? What do you do if you only have an hour? What do you do if you have 2 hours? How do I manage this? How do I manage that? We'll get there, and I'm going to provide you with some tools that I think will really help. But before we even approach that, we have to start with why, okay? Time management begins with why. It ends with how, but it begins with why. What do I mean by this? If you think about how you manage your time now, it's centered around your priorities. Now, you may say, my priority is my family. I'll come from okay? I used to say, my priorities, my family. But if you looked at my schedule, you would have a hard time understanding that that's true, because my time was being spent at work or playing golf. I was playing golf 10 to 15 hours a week playing golf, and that was pretty good. I was like a 3 handicap back then. I'm like 10 now because I hardly ever play, okay? Because my priorities weren't being reflected in my time management. So it's one thing for me to say my family was the most important thing, but my time didn't reflect that. So thankfully, I had some mentors who were able to help me understand that and say, listen, either that's just not true or you just don't care, because your time is not being spent doing the thing that you say is more important to you. And I had to really take a hard look at that, and it was hard for me because I liked playing golf. I didn't like the work stuff so much, but I liked playing golf, okay? But I had to restructure. I had to really think about why I wanted time freedom. And what I figured was that what I really wanted more than anything else was to walk my kids to school every day and pick them up at the end of the day and walk them home and sit down and spend an hour doing homework. That's not very sexy. It's not a trip to Disneyland. But it's what builds character in young people. And my most important thing is for my kids to grow up, be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise, okay? I had to change my time management to reflect my priorities, okay? So, you know, David, I understand working a 10-hour shift. When I first started the Beachbody business at the end of 2008, early 2009, when we started the Fit Club Network, I was a full-time lawyer, okay? And I didn't necessarily have 10-hour shifts. Sometimes they were 12, sometimes they were 6. It was more about getting stuff done. But I had a lot of people pulling me in a lot of different directions, and I had deadlines that were hard deadlines. There weren't things that I could avoid, okay? But what I knew was that I wanted to walk my kids to school every day, and I wanted to be there to pick them up at the end of the day so that when they were out of school, I was experiencing them, okay? I knew that if I got up early and put in an hour before anybody woke up, and then on my lunch break, instead of going down to Chili's and stuffing my face, I worked. And then if I had another hour in the evening after dinner, that if I just spent 3 hours a day working to build this other business, and it doesn't matter what your priority is, I'm just coming from me here, okay? That I could build a business that would allow me to leave that law practice and start doing what I really, really wanted to do, which was walk my kids to school in the morning and pick them up at the end of the day, okay? That became so important to me that I couldn't avoid work, okay? And then there's another period in my time, we'll talk about that later in this other series, where work consumed me. Because it happens, okay? Part of time management is having balance in your life, and we're going to talk about that too. But here's what I know. If something's not getting done, it's because it's not important to you. Not important enough, okay? If Game of Thrones is the most important thing in your life, you will avoid workouts, you will skip time with your family, you'll do all sorts of things to watch Game of Thrones because Game of Thrones is important to you. So what I'm telling you is that if you want to be good at time management, first and foremost, you have to understand why. Why is this thing that's not happening important to me? Because maybe it's just not, okay? And that's the truth. When I was confronted with this, that's what I was asked. Maybe your family is just not that important to you. Whoa. No, wait, my family is epically important. It's the most important thing. Everything good in my life stems from that. Then that golf thing had to go. I liked golf, but not as much as my family. So what I want you to do as you prepare to, sort of see what I'm going to talk about, come up with some more questions, post them below. If you have other questions, whether they're related to time management or other stuff that you want to learn about, please give me your questions. It's going to help me build this program so that it really works for you in getting stuff done and being effective. All right. Thank you for your time today. I hope I have at least started to answer what is about a 15-hour question, okay, about time management. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Again, feel free to contact me with any questions. Post a comment below, send me an email, whatever works for you. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.